Holy shit. All the trucks catching fire. Everybody, it's time to panic. Has to be true. I saw it on TikTok. Why would anybody lie on TikTok?
Now all over TikTok, diesel truck on fire. Diesel truck on fire. Look, another diesel truck on fire. I'm not one to bring like the government into stuff, but yeah, stuff just kind of ties together.
You know what? It's got to be the damn government. It's always the damn government's fault. The damn governments, they've been putting chemicals in that diesel to they're making all the trucks blow up because they don't like trucks no more or something. If that's you,
stop it. Get some help.
Now, if you are a daily user of TikTok, you've probably seen that there was a trend of trucks catching fire like crazy. Everybody was posting them. And they were claiming what I just said, that the government is putting chemicals in the diesel to blow trucks up because they want to ban diesels. And the proof that our brightest minds, aka TikTok users, came up with is that a whopping 61,000 pounds of ammonium nitrate just disappeared off of a tanker somewhere between Wyoming and California, which is suspicious, but I don't think it's going in the diesel. And also, diesel prices are finally coming down to where they should be, which is right about at gas price or even lower. The national average diesel price is now lower than the national average gas price. And with Biden recently announcing that they want to phase out diesels by 2030, it got the internet a little bit suspicious. Now, I'm not going to get into why that is stupid, but we'll keep moving. I'm not the type of guy to go out and believe everything the government says because of people like Wendigoon corrupting me and giving me trust issues with the government. But I really don't think the Biden administration or the EPA has anything to do with this, like TikTok is claiming. The chemical we're talking about, ammonium nitrate, is basically the main component in a thing called ANFO. If you don't know what ANFO is, just look up the Oklahoma City bombing and you'll see what I'm talking about. ANFO is nothing to fuck around with. It is a huge explosion. I'll put in a video right here of just 300 pounds of ANFO in a car, what that will do.
Fire in the hole! Fire in the hole!
Oh, jeez.
Incoming!
Oh my goodness!
But I don't know the exact ratios anyway of how much ammonium nitrate to fuel oil to make the stuff. I didn't care to put myself on any watch lists to find that out. But let's just say they even put a little bit in it, just enough to make these trucks go boom. That would be so dumb. If the government was trying to do this in the way that they're suggesting, who would be in favor of this? You wouldn't be able to just sneak it in, so how would you transport it? Would you transport it in a regular tanker? I think we'd have huge problems just from that to begin with. And are you saying the government's going to allow it sitting in the ground underneath every gas station in the storage tanks just to get some diesels off the road? I mean, come on. Now, I'm no expert, but I'm pretty sure if Joe Biden really wanted to, with an executive order, he could at least pause diesel production for a little bit. So why would they go through the risk of this? Now, that might be a weak argument, but that's just another hole in this theory we're poking here. And a lot of these aren't diesels, like this F-150.
When they're chasing you down with the
And I've even seen heavy equipment on fire, which doesn't use normal diesel that we would put in our trucks. If you've ever heard of red diesel, it is basically an off-road use only, where you don't have to pay the road fuel taxes basically, and it's just it doesn't run in the same systems as normal diesel. Even with all of that, I'm going to explain why the chain of custody in the fuel industry would basically rule out all of this. So basically, crude oil comes out of the ground, wherever it comes from, and goes straight to a privately owned refinery. Whoever is leasing that ground takes their own crude oil that they're using and takes it straight to their own refinery, where they refine it into all of the things that you can make out of crude oil. And then after it gets made into diesel or gas, it then gets privately transported to a place they usually call like a tank farm, and then from the tank farm it goes from the gas stations. It's all pretty tightly knit because of the risks of carrying hazardous materials like gas and diesel. I am personally a CDL holder with a hazmat license. They don't fuck around with this kind of stuff. It is pretty closely monitored because of, think of if they didn't, a terrorist act could happen just by leaving the fuel open to anybody to get at. And if anywhere in this process something gets messed up, like let's say they accidentally deliver half diesel, half gas in the same thing, it will get blamed on someone. And if they don't want to pay for it, they will get sued and their insurance company will end up paying for it. Now, a more common thing that happens is diesel is improperly stored, maybe at the fuel station itself, and water gets in it. And it's probably happened to somebody you know. It's happened to Mason, and it happened to my grandparents not too long ago. Now, my grandparents were out of town on vacation. They have a nice, newer diesel motorhome. They stopped to go fill up somewhere, and the gas station had let their diesel get down too low before they filled it up again. And for whatever reason, there was water already in the tank, so basically it was sucking water into the diesel through the pumps. And within that day, there was multiple people had found out about this from this one little station, and their insurance company had to pay out, and my grandparents' motorhome had to have their entire fuel system redone. So if this was happening, let's say, at one fuel station even in the country, they would be able to track that down pretty quickly because people would want their money for their trucks being destroyed. Well, let's say somehow the government got involved in this chain of custody and they put it in the tankers or at the fuel stations themselves. We would have heard about this by now. Like, if a company would get blamed for this immediately. Like, this wouldn't be a one-off deal where nobody really knows what happened. They would know which fuel stations it was immediately, and they would either be investigated or they would be pumping out money to all these guys' trucks who were on fire. So, like I said, if it was in the diesel, we would know about it. Like, it would be way bigger deal. Like, this could be up to 100 trucks per day at these fuel stations where the government supposedly fucked with the diesel. If you heard about it on TikTok, go ask an old family member or older guy at work or whatever. Nobody else has heard about this. It's basically only on TikTok. Even trying to do research on this, all I could find was basically like drama sites talking about this. So go touch grass. So here's my theory anyway. It's hot out. We're getting into the summer season and truck fires are happening anyway. Not to mention a lot of these are lifted trucks and whatever, so they might be show trucks that are coming out of the garage for the first time. If you live anywhere that isn't a city, you probably know how fast shit can get stuffed up into places it's not supposed to be from mice, rats, birds, whatever. Now, besides all that, there are literally 500 vehicle-related fires a day, based on the annual average anyway. So back to my theory. People are recording their trucks on fire because maybe it's something they put a lot of effort into, so they were going to record it and post it anyway. Or the fact that everybody has a amazing phone in their pocket that can shoot up to 4K video at a moment's notice. So let's take the daily of the annual average of 500, and let's just say 1% of people record their trucks catching on fire. That's still 5 a day. We're talking 1%, guys. 1% of people would have to record these and post it on TikTok for us to hear about it. Now let's say maybe your truck caught on fire last year or the year before because of some faulty wiring or whatever, and you open up TikTok and you see 3 other guys in your feed posted their trucks on fire, and boom, they're at 100,000 likes. Wouldn't you be posting yours too? And you put a little tag on there saying that the government's fucking with the diesel, and boom, now you're up there with the 100,000 likes or even more. So because of all this, post it up and you get views because everybody is paying attention to this on TikTok. What I think this really is something called a frequency bias, where you see something once and then you notice it over and over again. A personal example for me, my mom had a 2016 Dodge Durango in black for a few years, maybe. She got rid of it in 2018. I still notice every single black Durango driving down the road because of that. Because I immediately think, oh, hey, there's my mom. But obviously she doesn't drive the car anymore, so it's usually I just go, oh, hey, oh, no. Just relax with the truck fires. There's a lot of trucks that catch fire every single day. Just know there's nothing really probably fishy going on unless you hear something else, but I've been driving on a full tank of diesel for a week, so I'm good anyway. And if it was really in the diesel, like I said, we'd be seeing it everywhere. So this would be national news. And if you got your tinfoil hat on right now saying, well, the mainstream media is in on this. If you look at the mainstream media sources, they can't agree on anything anyway. So why would Fox News and CNN agree to do the same thing, or NBC and the New York Post? Why would they agree on something too? Everybody would be writing about this one way or the other. So here's my PSA. Go check your fuses, make sure all your wiring's up to snuff, and relax. It's going to be all right. Or go get a fire extinguisher if you're really worried about it, and maybe you could save your pickup. That's all I have to say on this. Now, don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date on anything that drives.